Good evening, everybody. Welcome, race fans, to the Final Fantasy Randomizer, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer, uh, Archipelago Race. This is round 3 of the Swiss. We've got Team Bridge 4 against Team Fried Tenacity. I am DM Stewart 1981. Alongside me in the booth is Possum Morpheus. How we doing tonight, Possum?
I am doing quite well, DM. I appreciate that. I hope you are as well. I'm
I
excited here
am.
for a fantastic matchup between Bridge 4 and Fried Tenacity with a lot of playoff implications in place, actually. A bit of a short form tournament, if you will. Only 3 rounds of Swiss with both of these teams currently 1-1. Fried Tenacity has the much easier path. Quite simply put, they win, they're in based on a strength of schedule tiebreaker. Bridge 4, well, they can also still make it. However, they not only need to win here, but then they also need the winner of tomorrow's match to have a very particular outcome. They need Jackpots and Japes, who is one of the teams playing tomorrow, to beat Lost in Slab Translation. So they, even with a win, do not control their own destiny. That being said, our runners do control their own destiny with their starting characters and the flags that they have. Some of the big ones, at least on the Mystic Quest side, we have Crest Warp that's on. We have Sky Fragments that we have to collect 24 of them. We have a Dark King that is going to have random abilities. We have Overworld Shuffle. We have Fiend Refights, if you will, the Mystic Quest version for those more familiar with Final Fantasy One. So a lot going on the Mystic Quest side, and roughly a half dozen items required for Go mode, which is quite a bit different than the Final Fantasy One side. DM, do you want to talk a little bit about the Final Fantasy One flag, some of the highlights on that?
Sure. Some of the highlights we've got River to Melmond, so that canoe will get you over to Earth Cave right away. 24 shard hunt, so just like the Mystic Quest side, you need 24 sky fragments for the sky key, the sky coin. You also need 24 shard fragments to get that black orb, to get through that black orb. We've got Hollow Dragons because that's just fun. We've got the Northern Docks on. We've got the Bahamut Horde on, and looks like we are off.
Yeah,
That is going to be, let's see, we got Life and Exit. I saw at level 1 white. We've got Temper, which is a nice find because Temper even works on the black belts. We do have Life 1 in battle. So from looking at the various blursings, it looks like Find Red Mage, Find Grind, Punch things.
and we also have all of the weapons and armors and whatnot. Everything has different abilities. So we see like a Harm 3 stick, we see a Cure 2 stick, a Brack stick, or piece of gear anyway. Also, the lit that is available in the shop is actually a single target lit 3, since there's improved level 1 magic on. So a lot going on for our runners. We do see early on for our Mystic Quest players, they started with Kaylee. However, Tristram is available, and we also have starting bombs. That's huge because we have Bone Dungeon in its vanilla location, I might add. Starting
Yeah.
Tristram effectively gives you the ability to just kind of dive this and make a lot of progression right away. Uh, you have Tristram's check down here, bombs open up the entire dungeon, and because of the way the life spell works in this game, as long as you are above the enemy's level, or at or above, I believe it is, with your companion, you are able to go through and life Flamerous Rex. So be able to get through that without too much of an issue on the Mystic Quest side, be able to get through that bone dungeon right away, which would be great. That'll open up quite a few checks for our runners and just be generally good all around. So a very exciting start on the Mystic Quest side.
So I will say I played Vanilla Mystic Quest, but I'm not, but I wasn't, I'm not familiar with the randomizer?
Well, thankfully, I am. So you can carry the Final Fantasy side, and I will carry the Mystic Quest side, and that is
I will
perfectly fine.
I will
Uh,
do my best.
Now, the Mystic
Um,
Quest side is honestly pretty easy because there's only 12 total weapons, and there's 12 total armors, and there's only
right.
12 total spells. So everything is really compartmentalized. There's a lot less overall going on. So you really need to be technically clean as a runner in the game. Otherwise, you are going to get bogged down in what is perceived minutia. So the best Mystic Quest runners are those who really have an intimate understanding of kind of battle mechanics and things like defendability, which we'll get into a little bit later on at some point.
And we are getting set up that archipelago client so we
Yep.
can see what's going on.
It looks like it had a bit of a hiccup, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. Worst case scenario, we'll just end up pulling in maybe one or two runners information. We'll get it going though. Some on the fly corrective measures by our wonderful tracker Wildem here.
Yes.
Excuse me, a wonderful restreamer, and our trackers Mechlin and Thavion Hawk keeping us all honest here. A couple of things of note that we just picked up: Excalibur and Rod, both coming out of Bone Dungeon for our Final Fantasy players. That's
okay.
really big. Potential.
The Excal is only big if they find a fighter. Which I would almost looking at the FF1 starting and the way those blursings are, I would almost fighter has thief swords, that Excal is nothing but cash.
That's
Ouch.
rough. Well, good thing we started with a black belt then, because I think I kind of know where our Final Fantasy 1 runners are going to be going at the end of this. And I have to imagine it's just a big fat black belt grind then.
That is going to be a big black belt grind, which that is speaking my language. That is, I am a black belt fan. And I will remind everyone, the best grind for the black belt is the one you find. It could be... the eye is just about optimal, but if you don't find the eye, that's okay. You can still get... I mean, heck, we have Hall of Dragons. You can do a Hall of Dragons grind.
Mm-hmm. And with random monsters and boxes, you could find any number of things as well to kind of grind along the way. And you'll be encountering enough trap tiles also that you'll be able to, see a fair number of different things, as our runners are going to be going into most of the dungeons on the FFR side. So there's a good chance you'll see part of Sky, part of Sea, if not all of them. We have Rod already available, so all of Earth is in play. Certainly Volcano is a huge source of treasure on these flags, and even Ice to a certain extent. So there's just a lot available for the FF1 players to try to find that grind for a black belt. And heck, it could be a single Agama. It could be, off the walk cycle if there's an early encounter on it.
Yeah, you get an early...
You go to the desert.
I love that desert grind. You get an encounter quick off the hard reset. You've got 4 or 6. I don't remember if it's 4 zones or 6 zones.
4.
That you might get blue stake.
Yeah.
And you find a blue stake grind quick off a hard reset. Done. Black belt to the moon.
Yeah, gotta love those T-Rexes when you can find them.
Oh, very much. Oh, move out of the way. Get out of the way of that door. Thank you.
Yeah, NPCs are fun. In Mystic Quest, there's no like, in various games you have NPC removal, whatever you want to call it. Uh, Mystic Quest is just hope they move. The worst part is the closer you get to them to push them out of the way, the longer they
Less
stand still.
the
It's
less likely they
awful.
are to move.
Yeah, it's so terrible. But on the Mystic Quest side, we do have a fair number of things open to us. One of the nice parts about the flags, and this was through extensive testing, we kind of found this to balance it. They start with the river coin. It's kind of
Oh,
thematic
oh,
with the river
ouch.
to Melmond. Oh,
Ouch. On
I missed it.
over there on Ikir's side, we've got on the green undead ghosts, we've got Zap.
Ooh,
Specters. That's it.
not ideal.
That is somewhat less than ideal.
Well, hopefully our Final Fantasy randomizer players are able to get through that. Meanwhile, going back to kind of that river coin piece, the river coin and river to Melmond are both on thematically here for kind of that water world feel with the multi-world portion going as well. So all of our runners have, the ability to do something
Oh,
to progress for themselves. And yeah, looks like
ouch. But that's out of the pool now. That nuke
yeah.
that nuke is out of the pool. It's on the it's on the Grovers, but it is at least out of the pool.
So
And that's why
correct
people don't like to dive ice.
correct me if I'm wrong. There's only one random enemy that gets nuke, right? It's from the vanilla
That is
Batman.
correct. That is correct. It is from the vanilla Batman.
Gotcha. So yeah, that's good. It's gone. The problem is they found it, and you'd rather just know it never existed. Uh, but you know, good to know.
Oh, there are nukes in the refights.
Sure. Yeah, could have
Uh,
nukes, could have fades, could have anything from the alt fiends, which are
yeah.
on.
Scarcerer puts, well, there is a vanilla fiend refight. The vanilla Speed Bump 2 has nuke.
Oh,
Scarcerer in chat points out Gershark Big Eye is a great black belt grind.
true. Only
And
two
that
enemies.
is stone poison from, I think that was the Giants. You know, the worst part about the enemies that we are seeing with Zap and Nuke and Stone Poison is that not only do you see them in Volcano, you also see them in Earth Cave.
Yeah, I think the thing that's interesting to start out here is our FF1 runners took wildly different paths, while our Mystic Quest runners have taken pretty similar paths. On the FF1 side, it looks like Fried Potato, and yes, that is how you pronounce his name. You He has gone through and he's doing basically the Go East play of Marsh and checking some towns and potentially going to Earth. Whereas on Ikir's side for Bridge 4, they've decided they're going to go Ice and Volcano. There's more treasure there, but seemingly a lot more dangerous tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of treasure in there. You get a lot of treasure in Volcano, but it can be dangerous.
I think
Um,
also on Fried Potato side, he's picked up a couple levels already. I want to say he's maybe level 6 or 7, whereas I think Ikir is still maybe level 5. I'm not exactly certain.
I think they're fairly similar in levels.
Okay. Ooh, iron golems are not nice either.
Oh, they're not nice to see yet.
Right.
But I'm gonna note where that iron golem tile is. I'm gonna note exactly where that iron golem tile is, and once I get my black belt up to about 21-ish, I'm coming right back there and doing that for the grind. We've got the grind that we've found.
Yeah, honestly, for both runners, they kind of have grinds available. Then you have the Iron Golems there, and then the Gershark Big Eye. So kind of both runners with a little bit of potential there, at least for their black belts. The issue, though, is that the black belts still need to get off the ground, and realistically, before we can grind at all, we still need to find more characters, and the characters are behind fiends. So that may be where that earth play comes in, or even trying to YOLO with maybe the flares and the items that we start with to get through carry. A lot of tricky business with a black belt start in these.
Yeah. The black belt start, it's a slow start. It's a slow start, but once it gets going, I'll quote Mike Tyson, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
That's true, including Mike Tyson about a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
First time in 20 years we can say that, so we have to say it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have some Zap coming out. YOLO Black Mage here. Not so. Yeah, Ike here is just getting dunked in Ice and Volcano here.
Yeah.
Kind of unfortunate. I think he's going to go try to find some better things, some greener pastures.
Ice and Volcano are tough. There's enough enemies. There's enough different enemies in Ice that something's going to roll bad. And in this case, a lot of things rolled bad. Likewise for Earth, something in Earth has rolled bad. And again, a lot of things in Earth rolled bad.
Well, here's an interesting thing that we're seeing as well from Fried Potato, is we see him kind of opening boxes and then just immediately resetting. He's kind of got that save point, if you will, outside of Earth. So he's just kind of diving back in, trying to loot what he can, get back out, see what he can find for early progression, and take advantage of the fact that the way the archipelago situation works is that once you've sent an AP item over, it's
go
good.
Back.
It doesn't go back into its box. So it's a very good strategy from the sense of, well, I'm probably dying if I don't get through this anyway, so what the heck, why not reset, save myself the hassle, see if I can find a good hero run. And it looks like we're on one right now for Potato. Also located the Mobius Crest for 10. That is potentially big because the Mobius Crest has 6 different warps available. That is big time value potentially on the side of Fried Tenacity here. And Flip Heel and 10 both are in the Lava Dome. Lava Dome is one of the densest areas in Mystic Quest for potential value. It's got 31 chests, I believe, which is just a metric ton of chests. It's over 10%, closer to 15% of the actual boxes in the game.
Mobius Crest, is that the one that looks like an infinity?
Yes. Yeah,
I remember the crests. I don't remember which ones they look like.
Well, that's the best part. It doesn't matter because it's basically chaos warps in this, so they can go anywhere, kind of, and be shuffled locations. So the crests themselves kind of don't matter. It's really just where is your dock to get to the ship to get to the end of the game. So Mobius Crest could be useless. Normally it's not, but it could be just complete trap.
Lava Dome. Okay. It's nice. It's good to know. It's good to know Lava Dome is a chest dense location. Because that's one of the things you mentioned. Volcano being pretty chest dense, which it is. It's not the most chest dense location in FF1, but it is a chest dense location. The really chest dense location is Sky. One of the things that you will hear a lot of FF1 runners say is you'll hear them say Sky provides. And it really does, because there's so many chests in Scott.
All right, and to answer a question from chat, what is the chat box in the middle of the screen? That's a great question. So that is the Archipelago client. That is basically keeping track of what the runners are sending to each other. So you have Team Fried Tenacity on the right-hand side and Team Bridge 4 on the left-hand side. So as they open boxes to go back and forth to each other, that is the tracker that is kind of telling us each item that's going back and forth. So we know from like this lava dome, for example, that both Flip Heel and 10 are in for their respective teams. They have sent things like the herb over. They have found their own Venus key. They have found their own wake water. So a lot of value in this particular dungeon, but it's really helpful to have the tracker to kind of hint to us, hey, by the way, let's look at the last 6 or 8 items that have been found, and we can just keep better track, and commentary can keep track of it, chat can keep track of it, the trackers themselves makes it easier to keep track of. So it's definitely a huge boon to have that tracker, and huge shout outs to those who kind of built the combo tracker to this, because it's pulling from both archipelago rooms for the runners right now. So it's a really nifty feature that's been built out.
Also, you talk about our trackers, definitely want to give a big shout out to our trackers, Thavion, Hawk, and Mechlin89. They do a great job.
Yeah, so not only are they, actively tracking the items that are found, but they're also going to keep track of things like what the items are that, let's say, are hidden behind something they have perished to, or what a character might be that is available behind a fiend, what spells are in different shops. They're going to kind of keep track of all of that for us. And honestly, we're just up here talking about the game. They have to do the actual work. So huge shout outs to them for doing that.
Also to Wild Ham, who is our restreamer tonight. Wild Ham, Wild Ham is also doing yeoman's work up here.
I do want to point out, in addition to everything else that was found in Lava Dome, a Vorpal was also sent over from the Mystic Quest runners to the Final Fantasy randomizer players. So that Vorpal could come in handy as well, since, X-Scal's off the table. If we promote and we have something we want to do other than Black Belt, that could come in handy as well.
Yeah. If they find that red mage, which, as we saw on the as Thavion showed for us in our chat room on Discord, Thavion has mentioned that red mage has sage for a blessing. That means that when you get the red mage, if you have not yet promoted, he can learn any spell that the black mage or white mage can learn pre-promotion, and after promotion, the red wizard can learn every spell.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we have the exit book for both teams now. So if they need to move off Tristram for some reason as a companion, who's the only companion who had exit in this seed, they can go ahead and do that. We also see that the Earth Cave, rod-locked Earth Cave, has the canal in it. So that is pretty interesting for our runners, as I guess they still need a ship to do something with that, but the canal is helpful, generally speaking, even with River to Melmond.
Yes, because Northern Docks are also on. Yeah, River to Melmond lets you get lets you get a canal before you ever get functions as the canal before you get the ship. Also can function as additional checks available. It's a very helpful, at least I think it's very helpful, map setting.
Yeah, interesting notation here. Uh, Elf Prince, which I believe would be the herb turn-in, uh,
It is.
gives an axe to the Mystic Quest player. That axe is enormous. It opens up a lot of potential progression, a lot of boxes. So the team of Bridge 4 having access to that first, pun completely intended, could be a boon for them, and maybe what they need to kind of bounce back a little from those early boppings they
Yeah.
took in Ice and Volcano. And we see the first hint of the run here. 10 on Fried Tenacity's side has hinted for the sand coin, and that is in the parallel room west box in the mine. You just need bombs for that. You don't even actually need a claw for that one. So if we have mine access, we can go ahead and pick that up. And it
And
looks
we
like,
do.
yeah,
We do.
the
It's up
mine
in the
was
Fireberg
somewhere.
region.
Yeah.
It's in the Fireberg region.
So Sandcoin would give availability to the Aquaria zone for the Mystic Quest runners, so that would be pretty big. And we also see hints for Floater and Ship from Potato on the Fried Tenacity side. So they are looking for mobility at the moment more than progression. Uh, I would have thought maybe a key would have been hinted for, but it looks like the Floater and Ship is what they're going to go after.
Well, that's gonna open up so many checks. Getting a floater or a ship. That's gonna open up so many checks for Potato that it's significantly more checks opened up than the key is. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Potato does eventually need to get the key, but you can find. But you can get so many checks out of the ship or the floater.
Yeah, it's certainly true. They're all going to be beneficial for sure. One thing of note, the way that hints work in this is a hint costs 10% of your archipelago points, basically. So every box you open counts as 1 point. On the Final Fantasy randomizer side, there's, I want to say, 180-ish boxes, maybe 200 boxes. I'm not exactly certain the number. And then on the Mystic Quest side, there's roughly 250 boxes available, and so every 25 chests on that side, you get access to one hint. So for each game, you have a maximum of 10 hints. You'll probably see between 4 and 6 used by each runner.
It's about 250. It's about 250 checks for FFR.
Okay, so they're about the same then. That's great. It makes it nice and easy. Uh, and we see that axe that both the runners actually have now. They are kind of going through the what they can of the alive forest here, checking crests as well to see where they're warping. And we know that there's a Gemini crest warp. And we now see there's a Mobius crest warp. So a little bit of everything available in the tree. But looks like the ship apparently did not have, or excuse me, we did not have the points for the ship yet. We only had points for the floater hint. So a little bit maybe premature on that, but it's still okay. Good to know where those are anyway. And there's that Mobius crest going
And
over on Bridge 4's side as well. So now both runners have the
oh,
Mobius crest.
oh, oh.
Yikes.
EXP's usually be a good fight, but they've got Glance and
And
Thunder.
Thunder. Yikes. So this
Yee.
volcano is just super rude.
Yeah, yeah. This volcano is really rude.
And the interesting thing about this, at least from Potato's perspective, he will probably be happier coming in now than if he would have done this immediately, because it probably would have been quite the unfortunate situation to do this right
Yes,
away. I have to imagine that's what he's thinking here. Not that he's really gained a ton of levels or power, but just
but
the
he's gained some.
yeah, just not coming in here base level.
Even if it's not a lot, he's gotten some. And finds those wraiths with Zap, which is the fire elemental trap tile.
Yeah, the long story short about this volcano is it is disgusting. It's not fun. It's not pleasant. And we're just trying to get the loot out of here. You know, not the loot as in the item, but the loot as in the boxes, and just be gone with it. Be done with it. We do see that there's
Yeah,
a Dragon Claw hinted for on Fried Tenacity's side. So they're hinting for a lot of like go mode or pseudo go mode items. That Dragon Claw's in Waterfall, so unfortunately we can't get to that yet. But once Potato is able to find either the ship or I guess the floater as well, we'll be able to go through and have access to that. So we are still needing some way to move forward. Unfortunately, the enemies in here are
yeah,
not providing a way to move forward.
yeah. Unfortunately, they are not fun. Well, not fun for the runners. I mean, I'm kind of having fun watching it, but
I mean, this is just the black belt experience. It's a very different experience than almost any other starting character. It, Thief has a lot of benefits to it. Fighter has a lot of benefits to it. Black belt is just kind of a bad starter. To that point, though, they are by far the best end game, just because they
yeah,
do what they do.
yeah. Don't need to start the fights. Definitely want to finish them.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh, that fire elemental tile.
Yeah, and chat pointing out, Fabian Hawk actually, one of our trackers pointing out, Ikea doesn't have the canal yet even. So, like finding the way out of the inner sea, just proving to be very very difficult. And those ogres have heal 3. So, oh, did you hope that they weren't going to bop you? Well, don't worry, they're just going to heal up, and good luck.
Well, the thing is, ogres have regular ogres, even Georges, have not a huge amount of health, which means that yes, that heal 3 is annoying, but it's just time waste.
True.
It's not like the Cure 4 that is on Vanilla Chaos that is that basically puts a timer on that fight. You have to kill Chaos in the X number of turns. Otherwise, Cure 4 and you have to start all over again.
Right. We see 10 on the Mystic Quest side is taking on some Windia area bombs. These are not pleasant. The Windia area bombs are very endgame. Excuse me, oozes. They're weak to bombs, but we only have regular bombs. And yeah, these are doing a
Regular
number on
bombs,
10's party.
regular bombs just don't do enough
Oh
against those
my.
Windia oozes.
We also saw a critical hit there from one of the oozes on the main character for 1100 damage. I know that 10 is trying to get some XP here. Um,
This might not be the
may
right. This might not be the right place to do that.
Well, he may also be very close to, if not BK'd at the moment. I'm not sure how much progressive nature there is, uh, based on what we have available, but we do see so deeper
We
in
get
the
it. Uh,
volcano, we
we
deeper
get a
in,
ship for Potato.
yeah, in the volcano was the ship. And so now the floater was ordeals, I believe, was what was stated. So
Yeah. So next
that
stop
is
Ordeals,
huge. Yeah.
and you see Potato is. Oh wait, heading up to check the 5-pack. Check that 5-pack of chests, and after
Well,
he checks that 5-pack of chests, he's after he gets out of Volcano, he is headed straight to Ordeals. I can guarantee it.
will he get to run? Oh, or will we get to zap? Wow, the zap.
Ooh,
That's
but
unfortunate
that's
though, but
that's a bit unfortunate.
good news, was able to keep the ship, so can go to ordeals and all that. Bad news, lost that XP he picked up. I think it was a box of like 5,700 XP, which
Yeah.
honestly would have gone a long way. That is the importance there of walking on the lava tiles rather than walking on the I guess encounter pushing tiles. I don't know how to phrase it, but yeah, the ship does always go to Corneria on the
Yes.
archipelago status.
Always,
Yeah,
always to Corneria and Archipelago,
and it would go
because
to Elfland if it was not archipelago, correct?
correct.
Yeah.
From Volcano or Crescent Lake, it would go to Elfland. From Ice Cave, it would go to Kravoka.
Mhm. But it is kind of neat to get to see some. Well, not for the runners. They're probably not thrilled with this, but it's neat from our perspective to get to see the runners have to work a little bit. Not only on the FF1 side, which we have talked more about than the Mystic Quest side, but on the Mystic Quest side as well. Like, I think both of our runners are doing a lot of extra fighting because I think they want flair on this Tristram. And so they need to get to level 28 on Tristan to do that, which would be level 18 on their main character. So it's kind of a situation where they're not BK'd, for example, but like the power is so severely limited on both sides for this. It's very unusual.
Right. It's it's less that they are actually stuck as much as they're getting they're doing their own variation of the black belt grind.
Yes, very much so. All right, and we see lock and cure on some items there on Potato's side. We have a hint for the Sun Coin from Bridge 4, so that's going to be interesting to see where that Sun Coin is. And Dave Van Hawk letting us know, looks like Dragonclaw is going to be picked up first before getting Floater, which honestly makes a lot of sense. Maybe we are actually BK'd on the Mystic Quest side and they are grinding because they don't have a claw. That could be what's happening here, and they're just using this time to go ahead and just get to nuke while they, excuse me, get to flare on Tristram while they can.
That's not really a bad call.
Now the big question is waterfall. So that's fun. Can we actually get there?
Potato is in Waterfall. The
Well, I
question
mean, get to
is,
the room.
yeah, the question is, can we get through it? And Zap works on the mud goal.
This zap that we have has really been paying off for our runners in spades on both sides, honestly. 4 frost dragons on Bridge 4's side is pretty spooky with, well, Stinger's not too bad. Lit 3 is much worse. Uh, and yeah, those are some mean frost dragons.
Yeah, frost dragons do tend to be mean. Anything with dragon in the name does have a tendency in FF1R to be mean.
Yeah, Ikir got bounced out of Earth. Honestly, both runners have been bounced quite a bit out of a lot of things. We get a surprise from the Wizards. We're going to go for Zap again on them. There's one. There's the other, maybe? Go, Gadget. Black Mage. Alright, so even if Potato dies at this point, he has picked up the Dragon Claw for his teammate, which is enormous.
Yeah, Dragon Claw is huge.
Got his own TNT and also picked up Thunder. Thunder not as big a deal. Still decent to have, but that Dragon Claw is a far larger resource.
And 10 making the way through. That's Lava Dome, correct?
Yes, this is the back end of Lava Dome, one of the... Well, this is the claw-locked area. There's 3 chests that are claw-locked there. So able to get those 3 chests and can now just kind of get out of here with everything but the Hydra completed. The Hydra bullied both runners. They both attempted it. There is a red box at the end of it, and it also opens up a tile and some travel between Aquaria and Fireberg, but it's not really necessary now. We see on 10 side, he is going into basically what is the parallel room. This is where, I forget what was hinted is in here, but something was hinted that was in here that we need. So this makes a lot of sense that 10 kind of just dove straight in here. And we'll see, you know, on Potato's side, if he's going to go for the floater at some point, it's no deals. The Sand Coin, which gives 10 access to a new area. So he's out of BK or near BK mode with that Sand Coin.
And it's pretty much just people fighting at this point, so it's not necessarily a lot to say.
Yeah,
Potato dropping into that Mirage Tower.
Yeah, he is. Basically, every box he has opened in here so far has been a monster in a box, which is really not ideal when he's rocking, well, whatever it is that we have going on. The Zap pays some dividends there. If we can keep this XP, that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
But that has been few and far between XP-wise for our runners. We see Brack Ice 3 Lit 2 in a shop there for Ike here. Not really great. And also looks like the Catmen have Rub. That's also less than
Ouch.
ideal. Potato does reset. It looks like he looted everything he possibly could there. And he's going to try to go and get to floor 2 here now and loot what's up here. At some point, I feel like even with nuns on, he's got to be getting near the point where he needs to grind in some form or fashion. It's going to be unpleasant, but I just don't see how he's going to be getting through much until he gets to maybe level 10, 12, something like that. And his key has been hinted for giant tree, floor 4. That is doable because we have the Dragon Claw for that. Also, the Oxy Hail sent to Potato, courtesy of his teammate 10. So Fried Tenacity picking up a couple big items here, while Bridge 4 is
Yep.
kind of stuck behind that same roadblock that Fried Tenacity was stuck behind earlier. So based on what we've seen so far, DM, what would you look to do on the FF1 side? Like, would you look to start grinding now, or would you hold off a little bit still based on what we've found?
Um,
Kind of what's your thought on that as the resident expert in the booth on that?
I haven't, because the only thing I've found that's the only thing I found that really is great grind was a monster in a box, so that's not really grindable. If I found like Gershark Big Eye, if I found a grind, I'm gonna get my way to that grind. If I haven't found a grind, I'm gonna look for a grind. And if Potato has not already found his grind, the fact that he is walking past that booth, that little booth up there in the northeast, is problematic. Although maybe Potato doesn't know that there is an enemy tile in there.
Yeah, I wonder if this is also just trying to get the floater first and then might come back in afterwards, but wants that floater and just start moving around. Um, Looks like we get put to sleep repeatedly on Potato's side there.
Yeah.
While Bridge 4, I love Flip Heel's tenacity here, not to steal his opponent's team name, but is making his way through this Hydra. If this Hydra has value, even though Bridge 4 might be behind a little bit, this could be incredible for them if this Hydra has exactly a required key item for them.
And oh, that pillar maze. That pillar maze. It's so much easier with warp.
All right, I think Potato is on the right track.
Yep.
Nope.
Well, no.
Soon.
Was there, just took the last wrong turn.
Yeah, nothing that you can really do to prevent that other than get lucky, don't get unlucky. It happens.
And
Bridge
Potato
4
making it all the way over to 4.
and Bridge 4 has their ship, and they have also defeated the Hydra. So this is potentially a big deal for two reasons on Bridge 4's side. One is it gives them fast travel between Fireberg and Aquaria, which is huge. And the second is it gives them the availability of this one red box on the very top left of your screen. That has value. Oh my. Oh my goodness. The Thunder Rock is required to win the game on the Mystic Quest side. That is potentially disastrous for Fried Tenacity because 10 has cleared that entire lava dome, took a crack at that Hydra super early, and did not go back. So they are going to have to hint for that Thunder Rock at some point, and 10 is going to be furious that he was not able to get through it when he first attempted it, because that's a
Yeah.
long backtrack. All right, on Potato's
All
side,
right. There's Potato into the last room. Into the last room here. And
oh
uh-oh.
no, no, run. Oh,
And but if Potato was thinking and put together the order, that's not as bad as it could be.
yeah, he may just opt to come back later. He just got his
Yep.
key anyway, so like go do the key things. Honestly, one of the things with a seed like this, sometimes the hardest thing is keeping your head on straight and staying untilted. There's been
Yeah.
a lot for both sides of this to get tilted on. So taking a breather, leaving there, taking that key, go somewhere else, do something else,
Get
figure something out that is not just bashing your head against the same wall over and over.
right. Woo Bear in chat makes a cogent point. It'd be nice to see, since given where Potato is, it'd be nice to see him check those the trap tiles in Northwest Castle.
Mhm.
There's two different ones. There's the center and the sides.
Yeah, a whole lot of chests here in Dwarf, but nothing really of value. A couple shards and sky fragments is really cool, but it's not active progression in
Yeah.
any meaningful way. And Wildem, our restreamer, again points out something here. The level 6 dives are doing a number on Potato. He's
Yeah.
just not able to really stick to anything. He's kind of just bouncing off of things. So really hoping to see some levels at some point. But I do like going through and kind of getting all of these boxes out of the way. Major thing we saw on Bridge 4's side, Aegis Shield comes up out of a South Windia battlefield tile. The Aegis Shield on Mystic Quest side is incredibly valuable because it is the only way to give yourself petrification resistance outside of Kaylee as your companion. So Aegis Shield's a huge pickup from a defensive standpoint for the Mystic Quest runners.
And ready. And we're gonna see that now that 4 mages, that's not a bad fight to take. It's not a bad fight to take for a few levels.
Yeah, I'm curious, do we have any, AoE items that would work there? Woober asked the same question in chat. I'm pretty sure we have a Fire 2 stick that, if not one, maybe two of them, we could have spammed. Fried Tenacity, Potato hinting both loot and cube. Meanwhile, Flip Heal on the Bridge 4 side finds another incredible defensive piece, finding the
And
Cupid Locket. That is the only way to
a
prevent
ship dock.
confusion.
Also finds the ship dock.
Mhm. Yeah, the ship dock is required for go mode, so that is Cap, Thunder Rock, Ship Dock, which means that on the Mystic Quest side for Bridge 4, they need the Mega Grenades and the Dragon Claw. We see Mega Grenade is Sea Shrine. And we know that Oxy has been located at least on the Fried Tenacity side, unfortunately not yet on the Bridge 4 side, but we are effectively in no mode for the Mystic Quest side, and I believe with loot and key accessible and known, we are in full no mode on both sides. So we have the availability of everything needed between the two teams. We know how to complete the game. It's just a matter of how do our runners progress from here to get there the quickest.
Right. It's just a matter of getting there. And that's a matter of making the right decisions.
The right decisions for this seed.
Right. For this seed. Not necessarily the right decisions for other seeds.
And that's always the beautiful part about the randomizer is what can be right 9 times out of 10. Maybe this is at 10%, where
Yeah.
something off the wall is the play.
It can be a high variance play. And I am not usually a big fan of high variance plays, but sometimes the high variance play is what you need.
Well, here's an interesting thing. Speaking of potentially high variance, this is the Hall of Giants, if I'm not mistaken, right? On
It might
potato
be
side?
on potato side. I think it could be.
And I mean, a Gershurk is not the worst.
That's the Gershurk Big Eye. I don't know that cake is what you want to use there.
Well, it looks like he's trying cake and zap, but has been blizzarded. I think that might be a really good fight once we have levels. But I don't think it's a good fight to get levels based on how that went.
It's a good fight once you hit enough levels that you can punch the shark and you can punch the shark out. Until you can punch the shark out, it's not great.
We saw Potato kind of taking a breather there. I wonder if he was maybe checking notes for a tile or something that may have been available. Maybe trying to dive down and get something going here on Earth. I don't remember too much of what was down here, but maybe there were like some enemies you can just light up with fire too.
Well, we know where there's whiz mummies.
True.
We know where we have that whiz mummy pack, and that might be a good start. Also could be after the party member that's behind the fiend.
The challenging piece to that, of course, is we have to get through the fiend, which I don't think we have any ribbons to help with any nasty statuses, and we're just kind of lacking overall firepower. I don't think we've even seen like quad X to cheese some things.
Yeah, this has been a very challenging seed on the FF1 side.
Yeah, and I think that's something that benefits Team Bridge 4. This is not to in any way say anything negative about Fried Potato, but he is a duckling. This is, within his first couple months of being in the FFR community, he is a Mystic Quest player and a free enterprise from Final Fantasy IV player. Even some Worlds Collide in there. I've known Potato for quite a while. He's still very new to this randomizer, so this is definitely a challenge, and Ikir may have an advantage over him based on experience alone.
Yes, but Potato is a very good duckling.
Yes.
The ducklings are not what they used to be.
All right, we have some different enemies being lit on fire here. We're at least up to level 9 on Fried Potatoes side. Ike here is kind of hanging out in a boat, wearing his flippy floppies right now, and using some hints, knowing now that his key and his loot, key is in Giant Tree, loot is in Sky Fortress, so we are going to need, I believe that would be Chime and Cube, in order to get that loot for Go Mode.
Yes, if it is in Sky, you need both Chime and... yes, you'll need both Chime and Cube to get that. Yeah, up 4, up down is the pattern in Pillar Maze.
And we see on Ikir's side, Harm 3 and Fire 2 being used to take out some mummies and whatnot there. That's some great use of items there, and go through and knock out some of those enemies. We do also see Quad X on Ikir's side. Probably not going to be particularly useful at the moment, but could be useful down the road.
Could be useful for a lot of things. Agreed, it's not necessarily the most useful thing. But it is very useful.
All right, looks like 10 is on his way back in to fight the Hydra. I wonder if there was a hint for the Thunder Rock that I may have missed on their side. Because this is the type of check where, unless he's locked out of something, this would be a really weird play to make. So I'm going to guess there was a hint somewhere in there. Or he's just saying, I know there was a box. I need to go back for that rub box.
It's one of those two things. Yeah, presumably Thavion saying that Thunder Rock was in there, so presumably that is probably what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm guessing there was a hint for it at some point, and I just missed it on the tracker. We see a hint for a ribbon on Ikir's side. I honestly don't hate that, because everything they're running into just seems to have some sort of nasty ability.
Yeah. Yeah, some kind of awful awfulness, and that ribbon will save a lot of that awfulness.
Yeah.
And Ikir having to figure out is probably going to check 3, yeah. And it's going to be back to check all of it.
Yeah, I mean, you knew in a seed like this, it had to be the worst combination on ordeals as well.
And Ikir makes it through.
For now.
Yep, this has been a doozy of a seed.
This fight kept putting Potato to sleep. That was his major malfunction in it, so we'll see. It's good turn order there on Ikir's side.
Good turn order and a bunch of those those Fire 2 swords. Oh yes, I would absolutely be burning those mummies down.
Yeah. Yeah, Ikir so very close. Levels. So close to that floating. And there it is. So our first floating, I changed basically the hour mark. That is, feels bad, but little do they know, they're the first to it.
And there's a ribbon, and that ribbon is going right onto that black belt, which is clearly the right play. Oh, We have an Agama. If the Agama's not awful, that's a grind.
It doesn't look too bad. I was wondering, are
Yeah,
we even
there's
going to use a black item to just off the black mage right now?
that is definitely a grind coming in on Ikir's side. It is a little bit of a risk because there's off-tile encounters here, and the encounters in Ordeals were not friendly.
Alright, and on the side of Fried Tenacity, 10 does get through the Hydra. That is going to give the Thunder Rock. They already have the Dragon Claw. They already have dock access. They just need Mega Grenades, which are in Sky, if I'm not mistaken.
I will disagree with you, Thavion Hawk. Thavion says no point to drop the Black Mage. There is. Nuns gain experience. If I recall correctly, these flags, deads do not.
Okay.
I agree the off-tile encounters risk mitigates against that. But that is the reason why you would dan the Black Mage for this.
Yeah, I still think a huge part of this is also just quite simply, we're
Muscle
an
memory.
hour in. Well, but we're also an hour in, and we've been on level, what, 9, 10, 8?
Yeah, they're about.
For the longest time. Our runners just want to be able to do something. Maybe go, get to whatever the first breakpoint is. So is that like 20, 22 for a black belt? And then go try to do like the Lich spot or the carry spot, whatever theme is there. Pick up some characters.
Yeah, 21 is really the 6-hit breakpoint.
So I guess my question would be, can a level 21 black belt get through the Lich spot and or the carry spot?
If the health is approximately what Lich has, yes, 21 should be able to get you through there.
Okay. So it's still risky, but it's maybe the play that they think they have to make.
It's risky, but even better than that is you just grind to 32 or 42, depending on what the scaling is, depending on what the scalings are, which I don't remember what the scalings are.
And it was loot that's in Sky. Mega grenades are in Sea Shrine, that's right. We've also now seen hints for the Life Book, the Flare Seal, and a couple of other things, but those are the big ones. The Life Book allows you to just, bring up your companion on the Mystic Quest side.
Yeah.
Flare allows you to have the best single damage spell in the game. So just a lot of hint points available. So not bad.
This is a good grind that Potato's taking with the Frostwolf's pack and using the fire swords. However, Potato should be going down and back up, not left and back to the right.
Oh, is that because if you go down where there's a door, you don't progress the encounters because of how it works in the rooms in Final Fantasy 1? Okay.
Yes, because if you go down, you're going onto a tile that doesn't advance the encounter, so you get no off-tile encounter there.
Gotcha.
It's a subtlety, but it's important.
Well, it's not a subtlety though when you do it 30 times. You're playing with fire at
Right.
that point, and you only need to get burned once to lose 5, 6, 10 minutes of progression of
Yes.
levels. So it's definitely a good thing to know.
Yes. It is. And that's the difference. That's the difference between an experienced runner and a duckling.
Mhm. The minutia. We do see Ikir is good on, I guess, levels or perspective levels. They are moving on to other things now. I didn't catch what level they got to, but they are, it looks like, going uh, I'm going to guess Sky? Oh, yeah, because they just got their cube, so they have Chime and Cube now, so they can go, or excuse me, to the floater. That's interesting. Ikir hinted for Cube, and Flip Heel immediately found it. I think that's a little bit of an
Sometimes you
unlucky hint.
sometimes you make the hint and you just get the right thing. Also going to bring that black belt or that black mage back up.
Yeah, it makes sense. A bit of a meat shield more than anything, I think, at this point. Maybe help with some random packs, but yeah,
Um,
definitely interesting.
potentially fast, potentially a fast cast.
Hmm.
Fast casts are really nice to get.
If I'm not mistaken, the black belt in this had a blessing here or a bonus of buff magic, correct?
Oh,
Because I think
that is.
yeah.
Oh, and a fast stick in the inventory.
Oh, so we're good on fast cast then.
So we have ways of getting fast.
Which honestly, temper is far less important for the black mage once it gets to, especially like level 42. Fast, from what I've seen anyway, is way more important. It's just like, oh,
Yes.
all of a sudden you've hit for 16 times for, 1700 damage. Okay, thanks.
Fast. Fast is literally double the damage.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Because it is double the swing. Not all hits land, but enough of them land that it is effectively doubling your damage potential. That is the better way to put it.
Hmm. Looks like we are at 23 sky fragments on Flip Heel's side for Bridge 4. Only needs one more to be in effective go mode. Also hinted for Gaia armor. Gaia armor is pretty cool. It gives you wind, water, lightning, and sleep resistance on the Mystic Quest side, as well as just being the best armor defensively. So it's a huge deal to get that Gaia armor when we're currently rocking our base armor that we started the game with. So that would
Ooh.
be a wonderful pickup on the Mystic Quest side.
Once again, since we've got a minute, I would like to give a shout out to Wild Ham, our restreamer, and Thavian Hawk and Mechlin89, our trackers. Everyone doing a great job helping us be able to just chat about these games. And that bottle or that fairy is an arrow book.
Yeah, that would have been cool 45 minutes ago. It's pretty well outclassed at this point, sadly. Still has some potential efficacy against exactly the fiend refights or uh, the bigger brothers, if you will, of the Hydra and Pazuzu. That would be Twinhead Wyvern and Zuh. Arrow is effective against both of those, so it can help, but largely not going to be that beneficial. So a little bit of an out of the way check, yielding kind of a mid reward. It looks like Nuke was in Provoca, which was at Lefane, so that gives the Black Mage something to do finally of true value, an hour and 12 minutes in on
Yeah.
Ikir's side for Bridge 4. So, definitely, as we stated, very challenging seed to progress through. Potato going to give it another whirl here in Ordeals. He is much better off than he was last time since he is no longer level 6.
Yeah. Being at a level where you can survive, where you can take a punch, is big. Oh, Ikir finds the real grind.
Yeah. Where on the
Oh, it
encounter
looks like
table
that was
that?
it looks like that was well into the encounter table though. So
Unfortunate.
yeah, not off of the hard reset. But that is the experience sandwich. Those sandwiches are really, really nice XP wise.
Yeah, even if that was 2 or 3 encounters in and you just had to burn 1 or 2 each time, that might just be the best thing still that we found, not named Agama, that could just be punched to death. So very interesting that that still could be an option. I don't know if that's viable. Again, that's my lack of FFR experience showing, but it's definitely something that I think I have to bring up for some of the more maybe casual folks like myself on the FF1 side.
If it's deep in the table, it's really not viable.
All right, we see a dive on Bridge 4's side into C. This is to look for the mega grenades for the Mystic Quest player Flip Heal here. So that is going to put, or I think we actually picked them up already potentially, but that is going to be putting Flip Heal into go mode. So that's going to be basically good to go on Bridge 4's side. I believe they know where the loot is. I think that is in Sky. So they're effectively go mode minus potential shards and whatever else is needed. Realistically, probably a grind for Ike or maybe a couple more characters to help
Yeah.
with that grind.
And a key. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea for Ikir to get those other 2 slots filled.
Yikes.
Oh, Blaze on the Arsahags.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Oh, when was the last time we saved? I guess it might have been just before. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter because we got what we wanted out of there. The only other thing that might be needed, and I can't tell with the menu quick enough, is shards. How are we on shards for IQ?
I have not noticed. But that is Steak and Wings. Steak and Wings is not a bad fight. XP wise. And it looks like that Steak and Wings might be the fight off of the reset. But Ikir headed for Sky. Yeah, that Arsehag pack was not playing around.
All right, and 10 gets the news that the volcano has his flare seal in the region that he is in. So that is probably not exactly what he wanted since he's going to be getting that fairly soon. The base west box is going to be the far left box on this screen here. So it's again a hint that is used by our runners where they're basically going to find it, very shortly after. Kind of stinks, but at the same time, it is what it is when you're playing Archipelago.
It kind of stinks, but it's better to know where it is than
Yes.
to not know.
All right. So
Yeah,
loot has been picked up. Go ahead.
when you're 80 minutes in, and just now getting the floater. And Thavian makes a good point in chat that Massa makes that black belt grind at lower levels much easier to manage.
True.
10 finds the life book.
It looks like Flip Heel is not going to say descending into chaos, but descending into where the Dark King eventually will be. Has everything that they need for go mode effectively. Is going to be doing some last looking for things. Has 31 sky fragments, needing only 24. So not sure where we are on sky fragments for Ikir. I would say, though, Ikir still has a lot of playtime left here. So on Flip Heel's side, even though he's ready to go and probably can already win the game, I think it would behoove him to just grind to, I don't know, level 24, something obscenely safe, and just kind of keep opening things that might be helpful. Looks like there's a ribbon that was sent to Ikir, which is cool. Although once the black belt is, ground all the way up, ribbons are a lot less important.
Well, ribbons are somewhat less important. I wouldn't say a lot less. That was a meteor. That was meteor seal.
Yeah, Meteor is helpful basically for exactly one boss. That's going to be the Hydra refight. Otherwise, unfortunately, Dark King resists Meteor, so that's not going to do us much good on the Mystic Quest side. The the Meteor Seal, it's also got the slowest cast time of anything. It's 3 3/4 seconds. So it's just a very long animation, and it's just not as good as Flare against almost everything.
That's good to know. Metal Slimes is not a bad grind either. Not a bad party grind.
All right, we see actually Potato is walking back out of Sea Shrine here, which
I don't agree with that play. The fastest way out is to defeat Kraken.
or die trying, since you save the items anyway.
Ikir going up to take on Tiamat. That's 4 shards. Looks like 3 full rows is 18 shards on Potato.
So you have Thavian Hog bringing up a very interesting point here as well. First fiend fight at the hour 20-minute mark. It just goes to show how ridiculous this seed has been. Most of these seeds are done or very near completion.
That and Shard Hunt. Shard Hunt, you don't have to fight fiends.
It helps, though, because it's guaranteed shards.
Yes, it's guaranteed shards.
And party members.
Yeah, and in this case, party members. Oh. Oh, I remember this floor. I remember this floor Flip Heel is on. Such a
Yeah.
pain.
So in this particular case, you're trying to go fast here, and then you try to go too fast, and oh, that's a cute location for Gaia armor. Just chilling in the box, basically right before the final boss. That's wonderful.
Huh.
Well played, game. Well played.
Yes, well done.
And I believe that's a white mage picked up. And that white mage is not going to be long for this earth. They are going to be at some point knocked off unceremoniously.
Yep, and Ikir is going to head into C, it looks like, after taking the Inn of Shame.
Yeah, my best guess here is this is just a YOLO run down to Kraken. Kill Kraken, get the rest of your shards, get your last character, then don them all, and just get all the XP on your black belt. I have to imagine that's the goal here. Maybe I'm off on that, but I feel like I've watched enough of this at this point to understand this part of it.
Yes, I think that is the goal. I think that is. I'm not used to doing the nuns gain experience and 2-pack and start with 2 and
It's a whole new
these
world, huh?
particular, yeah. This is not something I'm really accustomed to.
We have Potato, who keeps trying to get through things and keeps getting bodied. We also saw this Sahagin pack just absolutely ruin Ikir's day previously. So healing up between every possible encounter, because Blaze doesn't play around when
Yeah.
there's 9 enemies on the screen.
And 7 or 8 of them are using Blaze. Because that's the thing with the Sahagin wagon. It's 1 to 2 Wiz Sahags and 7 to 8 Red Sahags.
Yeah.
Yes, thankfully, unlike the vanilla game, they are in fact runnable. One bit of thing about the vanilla game is that you have encounters that are A side and B side encounters, where that B side encounter is effectively the equivalent. It has a lot of the same flags as the A side encounter. The A side encounter is the pirates, which are unrunnable. The B side encounter of that is the Sahagin wagon, which also keeps the unrunnable flag.
Yeah, and so we have an interesting thing happening here on the Mystic Quest side. We have one runner in 10 who is fighting Pazuzu. We have another runner, Flip Heel, who is fighting Pazuzu's older brother, Zuh. This means that Flip Heel has just been blazing through the Fiend refights on the Mystic Quest side, if you will, because this is the 4th of them. This is the last refight. The first 2 are super easy. It's literally cast exit and they go away. They're cheesable, which is fantastic. The third one, the Hydra, sometimes can put up a fight, and the last one, Zuh, is oftentimes the final boss of the video game. This particular bird usually sits about 20,000 HP, sometimes a little more. In this case, it definitely looks like it has less, but it still is punching pretty hard. That said, at level 21, not too much to worry about. Of note here, something that is very surprising to me at least, and I'm curious to find out from Flip Heel on this, we are taking Ruben with us, it looks like, to fight the final boss, at least to do the Fiend refights here. Ruben has no natural resistances, no petrification, no confusion, no instant death, no wind, no water, no lightning, none of that. only resistance is exactly fire. So way more limited, is a slow character, and also doesn't have the best magic power. So I'm very curious if this was simply a choice based on Ruben having access to the meteor spell only as a backup to Flare. So definitely something I want to ask Flipheal about once Bridge 4 completes their run. Uh, I guess if, I'd like to say when, but Flipheal is going to be our first runner on their respective game's final boss, as they are coming up on Dark King right now.
I mean that kind of sounds like that's the likely answer.
Ah, okay. Flipheal exits out, not fighting Dark King, going back to the beginning area. So I wonder if that was simply knowing that he has time, because once you've defeated the fiends on the Mystic Quest side, you can exit out. They're gone. They're done. So it's not like you have to fight all of them again like you do on the FFR side. So might be going for a different companion now for Dark King exclusively. Again, knowing that he has time, with Ikir still having a bit to do with the Black Belt and needing shards.
That that is entirely possible.
And also maybe looking for shards for Ikir as well, going through Pazuzu's tower now, which is not a bad idea. This has another 20-ish chests in it.
Now, if you complete the game though, don't all the checks get pushed?
Nope. We have that turned off. So basically,
Oh,
in conjunction with the ability to reset afterwards, if you will, and like go back and get things for your teammates, we have it set so that the slowest time is the time that gets counted for the team. So the fastest time is only used in exact tiebreaker scenarios. So the fastest team is, or excuse me, the fastest time is relatively useless. Uh, so we're encouraging people playing together and working as a team more than anything else. And part of that is not giving full release, because otherwise, you know, on
okay.
the FFR side, you could hint for a loot, you could hint for key, and you could just like go bust up shards and everything and kind of leave your Mystic Quest teammate in the dust if, let's say, their Dragon Claw, their Mega Grenade, their crest that they need was all in kind of poopy locations, for lack of a better term. You would just go complete the game and then give them everything they need. We wanted to kind of
Valid.
mitigate that and make people work more as a team. And I think it's worked pretty well so far. And we're seeing that from Team Bridge 4 right now.
I like that. And that is a thief behind Kraken.
And where does Ikir go now? Are we? I guess we're still short on shards, so this makes sense. Going to be doing Cardia Isles to see how many shards are here, if any.
Nightcure needs 1 shard.
I would reckon somewhere in the Cardia Isles there's going to be 1 shard. Or Pazuzu's tower. So I have to imagine Bridge 4 is getting very close. And on 10 side, we just saw a map scan. One of the cool things you can do on the Mystic Quest Overworld, well, there's 2 things actually I'll touch on real quick here. One is you
Flip
can
Heel
hold. Oh,
Flip
go
Heel
ahead.
gets their Excalibur.
Yeah, Excalibur doesn't do too much. It's +5 speed, but we already had the Night Sword, which does the same thing. It's a little more base damage, but we're not really going to be attacking with it. So Excalibur in FF1, usually a lot more vital and valuable than Excalibur in Mystic Quest. But as we see Flip Heel go onto the overworld here, you can hold the select button while you're playing Mystic Quest, at least on the randomizer, and you can kind of pan over the world map to see maybe where some things are, which can be incredibly important in randomizer routing which shuffles on and things like that. The other thing you can do is cast Exit on the world map. And when you cast Exit on the world map, it takes you back to the starting area. So some pretty cool little features. And we see Flip Heel getting back on the boat. Is he trying to set up the invisible boat? I think he might be trying to show off the invisible boat there. I think that's what that was all about. Yeah. He's showing off the glitch where you get on the boat and it brings you back and you have to travel back again. Fantastic little glitch there. I don't know if he was intending to do that, but that's a byproduct of casting Exit on the overworld when the ship is outside of the Pazuzu
Ah,
Tower, excuse me, the Doom Castle gate, if you will. So a fun little thing. I love when being restreamed to leave my cropping setup on that exact tile where I'm standing in the ocean where the boat should be. So huge shout outs to Flip Heel showing that off.
and Flip Heel back into Doom Castle, which is, by the way, the best music in Mystic Quest.
Oh, there's so many good things in Mystic Quest. Like
There's so much
everyone
good
has.
music.
Yeah.
There's so much good music, but none of it is better than the Doom Castle music.
Everyone has a different opinion. I love Fireberg. I know a lot of people love Lava Dome. Some people love the rock theme from the Fireberg Inn. There's just so many good tunes. A lot of people love to dunk on Mystic Quest. One thing you cannot dunk on is the sprite work, and the second thing you can't dunk on
It's
is
the
the
music.
music. And that's just where it is. And those are facts, folks.
It is actually an excellent game. Now, remind me, Bridge 4 was the team that was in control of their own destiny, correct?
No, Bridge 4 is not the team in control of their own destiny. So this gets even more interesting now. Bridge 4, so they have had quite a unique schedule. They initially played against the Fixed Dice, which is a team that has won 2 games. Then they got a second round bye after losing their first round. And then in this third round, they're facing Fried Tenacity. So if they win here, they will only have a strength of schedule of 3. Which would be the lowest of any of the 2-1 teams. So they have to win this, and then tomorrow the team of Jackpot and Japes has to beat the team of Lost in Slab Translation in order for Bridge 4 to make the top 4. If Bridge 4 wins this, then that also guarantees the team of the Fixed Dice a top 4 spot as well, based on how the tiebreakers are all playing out. So the team of Fixed Dice is a huge Bridge 4 fan here, despite the fact that I know they are close personal friends with the team of Fried Tenacity. So it's a very interesting thing where you're cheering for yourself yet against a good set of
Yeah,
friends at the same time. But that's tournaments, folks. You got to play your
that's
friends sometimes.
that's that's what happens. Ike here is in the Earth floor.
Yeah, Ike here in the Earth floor, and the Lich spot is down. Master Vampire, go bye-bye. On Flip Heel's side, we are rapidly approaching a tier 3, I have to imagine, here for Dark King. This has been a pretty thick tier 2 already. We have Flare coming out from the main character. We see the Gur. There's going to be the now I'll show you what I really am. And we'll see if Flip Heel is playing with randomized Dark King sprites or not. And he is. Love to see that. If you are a fan of Giga and Ganon, there you go.
All right. Ike here exits out. Is gonna have to go back in and is going to have to fight. Is gonna have to fight that Master Vampire again.
Yeah, not exactly certain what happened there. I was looking up at his teammate Flip Heel there. So not sure if we maybe wanted to get to level 32. Maybe we're not there yet. I have no idea what this black belt is at for levels right now. So maybe a situation where we're not comfortable necessarily, and maybe one more Master Vampire fight gets us there.
It wouldn't be a Master Vamp fight. That's not a lot of XP.
Matoya. We have Master Vampire and Matoya. We have a Black Mage that is on the ground. Did we go back and learn Life on the White Mage? I do wonder.
I sure
Because
hope so.
Life was level 1, right, in Corneria?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, David Hawk saying, yes, we do have Life on the White Mage. Flip Heel is on tier 4 of the Dark King fight, so rapidly approaching, and there it is. Get your G's out for Flip Heel.
Did Giga and Ganon go Super Saiyan there?
They did. The sprites, again, the sprite work in the vanilla game, but also the sprite work on the random Dark Kings is phenomenal. And also users can upload their own as part of one of the tools that is available in the Mystic Quest community. They can also upload their own sprites. So a lot of really neat features on the Mystic Quest side for customization. We see a third fiend here, Vamakali. We'll see what happens with this one for Ikir.
Yeah, that's very absorbent and also pretty... Oh! Yeah, that's doing Kraken 2 things. Yeah, that particular fiend is... And Nuke. That particular fiend is doing Kraken 2 things.
That particular fiend is doing a little bit of everything things. It's quite rude, very punchy, and a nuke. So we get through it on Ikir's side, but certainly not without some trouble.
Yeah, not quite fully doing Kraken 2 things because didn't immediately punch the white mage. But still.
Now we see Fried Potato and 10 on their side. 10 is grinding a little bit more, likely already well in go mode, but just not able to kind of progress without, leaving his teammate a little in the dust. So making sure that they are going to finish kind of close together, unless Potato might be going to get some more shards, maybe getting some more characters. We do see a nuclear, meanwhile, coming out on Revenant as well. Some spooky stuff showing up here in Topher.
Well, it's better to see the nuclear on one of the fiends than it is to see it on Chaos. Yeah, Thief with the Masses is the play right now.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of value out of the black belt. A lot of hits, but not a lot of damage. But yeah, the Thief doing some work for sure.
The thief has got some chonk to him.
Yeah, the Thief picked up what the Black Mage did not have. Basically, a little tankier, a little stronger. Maybe not even a little tankier, just the black belt rolling. I think it was minus 20 vitality.
Minus 20 vite
is bad.
That just hurts. That hurts my heart to see that. Moving around some of these caster weapons.
Oh, that was our last life cast used to bring back the Black Mage, which I guess if, the Thief or the Black Belt go down, whoever the carry is, if they go down, it's probably a reset anyway. So you want that extra body in the black mage, but maybe the black mage. I don't know about the positioning. Would you have moved one of the fighters maybe to third or fourth slot to help keep them a
Um,
little more protected?
I I don't know. I usually keep them up. I usually keep the thief up front, but the thief is also not traditionally my melee carry. Traditionally, I run either thief black belt white black or thief fighter white black.
Hmm.
Because the thief's entire purpose in my party is to be high agility and is to be high enough agility that I get to go first, and good enough. Just say no to
Yikes!
crack, boys and girls.
Yeah, that's
Some
a crack.
a dodge tank to be a dodge tank, and to be a to run away.
Yeah, that crack took out both the thief and the red mage. Not ideal, but we're continuing to punch. We're getting 300 to 400 damage a swing. So maybe we have just enough in the tank to get through this. Using the refreshes now, that's going to heal up about 100 HP. And there we
And
go.
that's it. Get your GGs out in chat.
Yeah, GG's to Ike here and Flip Heel. What a seed. They definitely deserved their chance to move on with that seed. And I think on the side of Potato and 10, seeing them just stop moving, I'm going to have to assume, and I'll check the race room real quick, that they may have said, "No, that's enough. We're good." Let me look. Yeah, that is the verdict that they will they will live to play another day. So we'll see if we can get everyone in here for an interview,
Yeah.
those who want to join, and kind of talk a little bit with them. But yeah, GG's to Ike here and Flip Heel. Team Bridge 4 does keep their playoff chances alive, while Team Fried Tenacity is eliminated. Um, but those are the breaks sometimes. So first off, Ike here, Flip Heel. GG's, congrats on staying alive and having a fighting chance at the playoffs.
Thank you. That was rough.
Thanks, GG's. Yeah, not the way
Yeah.
I had imagined it going, but that was something.
That seed. That seed.
Oh, that seed.
That ice cave, I hear.
Yeah, I never got a check in it. I don't
That ice
think.
cave and that volcano.
And that Earth and that seed.
Yeah, those early three, they were just awful. Just telling them, I think I died or tried to dive some of it like 6 times, and then gave up ice before even getting a check in.
So I know that
Yeah.
that you and Flip Heel have played together quite a bit. So I assume y'all have seen some seeds like this. Where does this kind of rank for y'all? Is like, is it on the upper end of difficulty? Is it middle of the pack? Like, where's this kind of rank for you? Because it seemed like, at least from what we've seen in the tournament so far, this might have been one of the rougher ones that gets rolled.
The Final Fantasy 1 side, this was definitely the hardest one I have seen in this flag set. I don't know about the quest side, but people seem like he was having no problems with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely never seen Iker struggle this much in the beginning, so I don't think we've experienced any of these painful starts, or I guess this combo. But yeah, I don't know. Other than like what almost felt like a bottleneck for us with that one boss, it didn't seem too bad, and then C just kind of opened up after that. So who knows?
You kept finding your own progression, so you just were able to keep going. I had to try to find my stuff. I should have hit the ship earlier. Once I got Canal.
Oh,
Not sure I had the
I,
checks
I
to
was
do it even though.
I was watching that ice. I was watching some of that ice and thinking, oh, this is why people don't like to dive ice, because there's enough different things in it that something's rolled awful.
That's at the end of the interview last game that I was gonna what I was going to do different was try to do ice early, and we did a practice one a few days ago where I did the whole blacksmith route over onto ice, and we didn't really have any issues with that one. But this one, yeah, this is the reason I try not to go ice early. Just the enemies, and then find the nuke whiz ogres in there at the first trap tile. It's like I'm done with ice, no more. Volcano wasn't
Yeah,
really
it
much
was
friendlier.
just ugly. And most of the nasty stuff that was in ice is also in volcano and earth.
Yep. That nuke whiz ogre trap tile was there. Yep. Lots of bad enemies and trap tiles that I couldn't handle, like the ghosts. I think was in one, and the I don't remember what the other one was, but it destroyed me also. The armory.
Yeah, and Flip Heel, I wanted to ask your end game choice. You ended up going with Ruben. I know Ruben doesn't get a ton of love, and I am guilty of not giving him that love. What was the choice behind Ruben there? Was it just because he had Meteor added, or was there another reason as well?
A little bit. Um, uh, let's see. I think what Phoebe and KB didn't really have anything too exciting,
Yeah,
right? It was basically Tristram or Ruben,
right.
and I don't know. I guess you do get the immunity from Tristram, but yeah, the combination of the double thing, and I had already like done everything with Tristram. I just kind of just went with it.
Yeah, that's completely fair. 'Cause, I mean, at the point you were at, I think you were what, level 23, level 24, something like that, which is obscene for Mystic Quest. Normally 20 is more than sufficient. So you were at very low risk, most likely even with an air quote subpar partner. So it makes sense to just go with it.
Yeah, it was also so like it was so weird to see because right, I was bottlenecked forever with the Hydra, although I think there was a way to do it without it, and then suddenly we just found a couple items and I'm like, Iker, I think I'm basically in go mode. So I just kind of cleared trying to find good items to finish, and then yeah, and it was just weird. So I felt like I had a lot of extra time to level, and then also finding Iker shards because that was the
Mhm.
name of the thing. I was like, Iker, do you need shards? And he's like, kind of, yeah.
I
That's
need
why I was
11
over
there
at
at the end.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I'll continue on to the, final boss. And then when I got there, he was still missing a lot. So I was like, what? I'll go at least to Pazuzu's tower. Hopefully there's some in there. And yeah, it just kind of worked out.
Yeah,
I
we
think
saw at
you
the
found my
end
last.
there, you were at 33 shards, I want to say it was, or something like that, which is way above the norm. Uh, Yeah, so you found all yours, but Ikir's were much more elusive. And go ahead, Ikir. I apologize for cutting you off there.
No, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Yeah, I was just. I think it was too short, and you found my last two. That way, I didn't have to go dive like volcano or earth to get my last two. Then I
Mhm.
realized, yeah, I never looted Bahamut Islands, so I went over there, and I think you found the two before I got anything.
Yeah, the question I have for you, I suppose, on the FF1 side, we noticed that you got your party filled out. You had your black belt, your black mage, your white mage, and your thief, and you didn't do like a traditional black belt grind where you could have like offed your characters and got your black belt to level 42 or 32 or wherever you'd want to go with it. Was that just a decision based on the time that had elapsed in a seed? Was it based off of the equipment you had? Was it some combination thereof? Kind of take us through that, because I think that the black belt to 42, I think, would have been a lot of folks' play here. So kind of curious what went through your mind making the choice you did for your party comp.
That's a good question. Grinds early in this flag set are hard because with the two characters, your nuns are still getting, or your empties that
Mhm.
haven't been filled yet are still getting XP. So you saw me take that grind on the Agama tile in Ordeals just to get up to 21 so I can get 6 hits in so I wouldn't be stuck there casting like Fire 2 all the time. And I think I was 25, 26 by the time I finished Volcano or not Volcano, Air and Sea Shrine bosses. So with 2 left, I always have difficulty finding the grinds, and there was like a huge. I know we got the I did the one reset in desert and found the steak and wings, and I'm like, do I want to try to kill off my guys? I mean, they've just been easy so far, but I felt like with that what I had the Massa on the thief, which I remembered to put on after the first boss in Toper. The black belt was still doing good damage. I had found 2 fast sticks and a temper stick, and black mage cast temper. While you can do the 42, we fell way behind just because the way the seed played out early game. So I didn't feel I could take the time to go find a grind just for the black belt. Having Master Thief and the black belt together, I thought could do the job, and turns out they could. So it worked out. If I had to grind, I probably would have only grinded now to 31 if it didn't work in Toper, or 32.
32, yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Appreciate the in-depth explanation and analysis there. I figured there were a lot of factors weighing into it, so much appreciated on that. DM, any extra questions? Anything else you can think of for our victors this evening? Team Bridge 4, Flip Heel and Ike here.
No, other than I feel bad for you running that seed.
Yeah, I feel bad for Potato because I can't imagine what happened over on that side. I kind of can't saw it on my side, but man, that was rough on both of us.
That was a rough one.
Black belt, black mage is not a good start when black mage has like no spells.
Yeah, Nuke was locked behind Lefane.
Was Lefane? I got Nuke. I thought it was level 3.
Oh, I thought
you had to
it
get
was
the ship.
2. No, my apologies.
I think it was 3. I could be wrong. It could be 2.
Either way.
What? It was 2.
It was 2. Okay. Which, yeah, that was at Lefane. So yeah, I wanted to go find spells because I knew Nuke was out there somewhere.
So
Well, go ahead, yeah.
That whole town randomizer just feels awkward to me a lot of the time.
I swear it likes to put every town you can't get spells from early. This is like the 3rd or 4th seed in a row I've had where it's been Lefane and I forget what other ones we had there.
Gaia.
Lefane, Gaia, and Marsh, or not Marsh. Words, Melmans. That's the M word I'm looking for. Like early, so it's like cool. I can get all the high level spells. I can't get any low level spells. And I swear it does that. It likes to do that all the time.
All right.
So,
well,
10. What about you? What do you think? What do you think?
I'm here too. Mystic Quest side, easy peasy, no problems whatsoever. I was ready for the Hydra kill being required to get to the Aquaria region, but then Potato found me in what was it? The Dragon Claw, eventually in Waterfall. But this whole seed was the FF1 side, and it was terrible. And I know Potato would say this was the worst seed he's ever run in his life. It's a good thing that the voice rooms are not streamed. I will just say that much. It was not a pleasant experience for him at all. I feel bad. The guy, he's pretty new to the game, and I'm even newer. Like I just know enough to understand how terrible that was, and it was worse than I could have imagined, I'm sure. So my heart goes out to Iker and Potato, and GG's to you guys for being able to actually get through that piece of crap. And Potato, I know you're going to listen back to this at some point. Love you, man. It's fine. It's not your fault.
Yeah, it's not your fault. The seed was just awful to both of us.
Yeah, I'm just imagining it too, because Iker is like normally very calm and whatever, and even Iker was complaining a little here and there about the seed. So that's how you know it's bad.
We're setting in.
Yeah, Potato was reading off the blur scenes at the very beginning, and everything he said was just literally the worst possible thing for the applicable class. It was just like the minus vitality on Black Belt just kind of sealed the deal. It just literally couldn't do anything the whole time. Everything could do more damage than you could have health. It was just rough.
Yeah. Yeah, minus vitality on
Yeah.
a black belt just feels awful. And this from the guy who's primarily a black belt carry runner. Minus vitality on a black belt feels awful.
Well, 10, we'll go ahead and ask. I won't get into too much of the minutia of the seed with you because it definitely helps to have your teammate to talk kind of shop on both sides. But as far as the tournament as a whole was concerned for you, getting to play with a good friend of yours, getting to kind of run the event, even though y'all aren't going to be making the playoffs, was it still overall a success, would you say? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Are there things you'd change? I would just love to hear about, the runner perspective on things.
Yeah, I mean, on the Mystic Quest side, this game is so just plain Jane easy no matter what you do. Even like chaos settings outside of maybe interest rando, it's beatable in an hour and a half tops. It's just the game's not hard, and that's kind of the whole purpose of Mystic Quest. So on my side, no complaints. I'd play this game and any kind of flag set any day and have no problems. I know Potato would have a few words to say about the FF1 flags. Especially this start, the black belt black mage is kind of his worst nightmare, which I'm sure it is for many, especially newer runners. But there's things he would like to see change, but it's not down to any one person. It's down to what feels fair to everybody. And I don't get into the whole details of that because it's not my job. It's your job, Possum. So I do know that Potato blames you 100% for the seed roll tonight. I will say that.
Yes,
I
we both
will
do.
accept that. Myself and our bot overlords will accept the blame. That is perfectly fine.
I will agree with our tracker Mechlin89 in chat. Certified dumpster fire.
Yeah, well, I will say 10. Thank you to both you and Potato for being awesome participants. Really great hype persons for the event. I know that y'all been talking it up in a variety of different places. And then Ike here and Flip Heel. Any final thoughts from the two of y'all as you have the chance to potentially progress on to the playoffs? Obviously, you'll be rooting for the team of Jackpots and Japes to win tomorrow. What's kind of your thoughts heading into the playoffs if you do make it, if you don't make it?
I'll just let's see. Just maybe get a little more practice in if we do make playoffs. But I don't know. Just any opportunity to play Mystic Quest is great because I don't really. I'm probably not like grinding them religiously, but whenever it's like a tournament or something, I love just pushing through and like learning stuff and playing. So appreciate the tourney, and it's been fun so far. Like I said, especially co-op anything is just so good. So the fact that these two games combine pretty well, it's great.
Yeah, I agree. The co-op mode is the best mode, in my opinion. So yeah, it's always fun to do co-op. Like I said, it's fun, interesting. Yeah, we just have to wait to see how the last match ends up before we can think about playoffs.
Definitely. Well, we'll let y'all get some well-earned rest and enjoy the holiday if you celebrate. For American Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow, today in some places, I believe already. But as far as that's concerned, that is going to do it for us this evening. Want to make sure that we send out another huge thank you to our behind-the-scenes folks, Wildem on Restream, Mechlin89 and Thavian Hawk tracking, to our runners Ike here, Flip Heel, Potato, and 10, especially to Ike here and Potato. Thank you all for putting on a whale of a show for us. To RPG Limit Break, of course, for letting us host many iterations of this particular event on their channel in the past couple weeks. Thank you, RPG Limit Break. And DM Stewart, last but not least, thank you for being a wonderful commentary partner this evening. And the last thoughts are yours, my friend.
Well, We also have the Final Fantasy 1 community also has the Duckling Rally currently going on. That is for our newer runners. That is experienced runners teaching newer runners how to beat them. That it's a lot of fun. It's an asynchronous group. We've got a lot of learning, a lot of resources to help you learn how to run Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. I promise most speeds and most flag sets are not this level of dumpster fire. We've got winter tournaments coming up. We've got some specialty tournaments every now and then. We do one called Double Anti Bingo, that is always a blast. We've got events going on all the time, and you should come join the Discord if you want to learn more about running Final Fantasy Randomizer. It is a whole lot of fun. And so on behalf of both of our teams, Bridge 4 and Fried Tenacity, for our runners, for our back behind the scenes crew, Wild Ham, Mechlin89, and Thavian Hawk, and for my broadcast partner, Possum Morpheus, I have been DM Stewart 1981. Thanks everyone for coming and watching.